Miami's innovation ecosystem continues to expand and it becomes a hub for entrepreneurial activity, it's important that we bring along the entire community as part of the ride. It's imperative to have an inclusive and welcoming ecosystem that enables everybody to participate in all the great gains that Miami's entrepreneurial ecosystem has created for the community.
Miami now ranks 8th of all 350 plus US metros in venture capital backed funding of its startups. Miami is also an extremely divided economy. We have a burgeoning gap, a worsening gap between the very, very rich who are coming here from all over the world and the very poor. So I think that's what we want to talk about, this connection potentially between how we build a more innovative and entrepreneurial ecosystem, but how we do it in a more inclusive way.
What we need is to be adding urbanism so that there's more of it to go around. And that's partly a construction question, partly a transit question. The idea is old and the idea is simple, which is have a place where civic leaders come together to talk about the future. Spur is one of the few groups that made that transition from the old model to the new model of urban civic group. And today what it really is, it's a place where we try to figure out what to do about the big urban problems. So I have a cross-sector leadership board, business people, labor people.
We still have a problem of housing affordability. It might even be worse. I don't want San Francisco's bad, but the problem here is that what we build is mainly for rich people.
Accepting the fact that we're at a bigger scale than we thought we were, and that instead of being a region of 7 or 8 million people, we need to become a region of 10 or 15 million people, which requires huge investment in transit infrastructure as well, and then using that to enable additions to the housing supply.
But the one issue that I think we have worse than you said you didn't build enough transit. Like you have a BART system.
Yeah.
This is not a hard place to fix the transport problem.
The same relationship that the Bay Area has to Asia or New York has to Europe, Miami can have to Latin America.
It's not the president that's the problem, it's the office. We in this country have created an office of the president that we gave in a country of 350 million people, 3,500 counties, tens of thousands of municipalities, 350 metros. We've created this all-on-high office, and then whatever is not at the federal level is at the state level. But we know the thing that works is city and local government.
You know, the thing about transit, people need to believe in government, frankly, in order to tax themselves at a level and empower an agency with the tools necessary to build effective transit. A factoid that's a very sad factoid, 50% of the transit riders in the United States are in New York. The second tier of cities, that is San Francisco and Boston, Chicago and Washington, all of that combined plus everybody else is the rest of the 50% of the transit riders.
One could make an argument that with sea level rise and the threat from climate, the biggest communities at threat are not the affluent communities in hurricane-proof buildings. It's our historically disadvantaged group, which are petrified. So I think your point is very well taken, that for this new progressive group that want more housing built, we need to build new coalitions. So
totally agree.
I think it's a really good point.
None of us sort of showed up to the modern era with the kind of transit system that we need for the size we're at today. So everybody's got to solve this problem, or else you're simply going to break down under the weight of congestion.